Hello and welcome. Thanks for stopping by to watch my video. This video today we're going to be talking all about my new setup and including my PC build and my journey throughout it. So buckle up because it's going to be a good one. So my gaming background, I guess we could say, started out with console games back NES days, which is kind of where I was on consoles for the vast majority of my life. Around 2020, my fiance probably being a bit of an inspiration on this, got me into PC gaming. And actually, it was probably primarily because of The Binding of Isaac, which I had on my Switch too, but anyway. So I got my first gaming laptop, and it was refurbished from Best Buy when I got it, so it wasn't top of the line when I first got it. So yeah, I was getting pretty frustrated with what I had, and actually just last year, my son, who only just turned 14, built his own gaming PC. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Bruh.
My 14-year-old son can do it. Surely I can do a little bit of research and do it myself. So that's what we did. But before we get there, we're going to see where I came from. So here you see the beauty of the laptop that I was working with. And yeah, we've got our Zelda mug here, probably drinking some coffee, doing some work. And my setup was basically like a couch fucking side table that you can like pull up. So my gaming chair was the couch.
Bruh.
So needless to say that an upgrade was due. I took this picture too because you can see a little bit more of the table. It was bad. I think I bought some like vinyl that I was going to cover the table with first, and that didn't work out. So then I got some spray paint, and then like that was fading, and it wasn't there. It wasn't it. Yeah. Then, as I slowly started transitioning, so more and more started happening, I got a better table. It was still like a couch side table. My first biggest upgrade of my system was getting my monitor, which I think I got back in 2023. So I started using this as a primary monitor rather than my laptop monitor. I think initially I might have been using both for a period of time, but I just didn't really have a lot of space on my desk, as you can see. So I ended up getting a table that had a little shelf below it that I could put my laptop on. And then, well, if the laptop was down there, then I kind of needed a separate keyboard, and then I needed a mouse, and then I needed speakers because my speaker was coming from down below. And you see how kind of everything just compounds and one thing leads to another. It really wasn't my fault. So that's how a lot of this happened. So this ended up being my couch setup. And it's still on that little table that I can slide off to the side. And my gaming chair was still my couch. As you can see here, so you see it slid over next to the couch there. Pretty ghetto. That's what we're working with. It's fine. Then, Christmas had just passed. I was looking around my living room, trying to find, because we don't have very much space. We have a small house and a lot of people in it and a lot of things in it. But I found a little corner that I could probably utilize. So I decided to finally get an actual desk. I did all the measurements, made sure it would fit perfectly, and got myself my desk and got a chair as well. So what you see here is the first stages of that. When I first just got the desk, I didn't even have the chair for the first little bit, but that was the first setup with an actual desk. Getting a little bit more respectable. And then we got our accessories. So that chair I didn't even end up keeping. It was really cute, but it was horribly uncomfortable. I didn't like it at all. Yeah, so that's long gone now. The panels, I love. I got the panels. My fiance got me the triangle lights up top, and I know they're not perfectly centered, but I put them up before I had the panels. So it was harder to judge when it was a blank wall. And they're stuck on there really good, so they're not moving. And I got a couple of little shelves on the side. So yeah, that stayed the setup for a little bit until I still was annoyed at my laptop not being able to perform how I wanted it to perform, and got me more into wanting to build my own PC. So I started the process of researching, because really, I don't know that much about gaming PC, like the components and all that stuff. So I was coming in pretty blind. So this was my first picture of gathering up some of my PC parts. I think I did have my list on my phone here too. So a couple of the first things that I looked at. So Tech Source, Ed's videos were one of the main ones that I watched to kind of educate myself in, PC parts and making sure that everything is going to work properly together. I did have a few things that I knew that I wanted going into it. I know you can't future-proof anything, but I knew that I wanted to be on AM5, DDR5 for the memory. Maybe those were the main two. But anyway, so I started off the motherboard and CPU, kind of picking those out. My motherboard, I went with the Asus Prime X670E Pro Wi-Fi, which I did get on sale. I did get it right from Asus's website, and did get it on a little bit of sale. I think after tax and everything, it was $345 Canadian. CPU, I ended up ordering from AliExpress. I did the AMD Ryzen 5 7600X, which is 6-core 12 thread. And I got that, AliExpress for $245. And that would also be Canadian, and after any tax or shipping that was on it. I believe I did get that on sale also. T-Force Delta DDR5 RAM, so it's 32 gig. And actually you can see in the picture also, it's the 6000 megahertz and 6000 megahertz, and I think it's CL30. And I got that from Newegg for like $188 Canadian. SSD, we went with the Samsung 990 Evo Plus 1 terabyte, which I already feel like I want to get another 1 terabyte at least, but it was something to get me started anyway. So 1 terabyte, PCIe 5. So for my power supply, I went with Sama, and I got that one from Newegg. It's 1000 watt, which yes, maybe is a little overkill, but I don't have to worry about upgrading when I'm adding on little things here and there. So, and for the price, really, I might as well have. So yeah, Sama 1000 watt, 80 plus platinum gold, and it was only $99.89 from Newegg, and that's Canadian after tax and shipping. My case, I went with the MSI Mag Pano 1000 liter white ATX. That was from Newegg at $247, and I think there were some like Steam rebate credits or something when I had gotten it at the time also. I spent a ridiculous amount of time comparing cases. One of the reasons being just where my desk is. The desk itself isn't huge. Like, I don't have a huge amount of space, but I still really wanted a really nice looking case, and kind of more that fish tank style. So I did a lot of back and forth, like a lot of hours comparing cases. My GPU, I think, was the very last thing to come in, because I was waiting and hoping and praying for sales to happen, which they never did. So I was anxious and I wanted to start building some stuff. So I started putting some stuff together. So here's my motherboard with the CPU installed, and I had the CPU, I forget what they call it, the little bracket thing. everyone raves about them. They're only like $12, and it does help from everybody's testing to keep your CPU a few degrees cooler. So that paid off. I think I also have my SSD installed here and my RAMs installed. That's pretty much it. So I was getting a little antsy at this point. And then I even put it into my case, and I have my extension cables, which I believe I got those from Newegg also. They are Sama brand. I don't think I wrote down how much I paid for them because they were very cheap. I want to say maybe $20 for the set of the 3. So very cheap and no complaints. So this was the waiting game. I was waiting, of course, on my GPU, and then also on my AIO and fans. I think that was mostly it. And then, ta-da! So my AIO and fans came in, all of which you can see there are Sama brand. Really have no complaints at all, and their stuff goes on sale so frequently on Newegg. The fans I fucked up on. I got reverse and regular mixed up, which still to this day doesn't make much sense to me. But anyway, CPU cooler and 10 fans I got for $235 Canadian from Newegg. Then I did have to go back and get some different fans, but that's irrelevant. We won't talk about that. So then we could get some more building done. I can't recall. I think I waited for the GPU before I put those in, which I think came like next day or very close to when the AIO and all the fans came in. So I didn't have to wait too long to complete it at that point. Then we have finally GPU of choice was the AMD Radeon RX 7700 XT Sapphire. I knew that I wanted something more than 8 gigabytes, which that cut down options a lot. And I wanted white, which also cut down options a lot. And I was shopping like January-ish for this. So it was before all the new ones came out, and there wasn't a huge amount of options, and the prices of them were stupid. GPU I got from Amazon at $739. So that was by far my most expensive purchase of the build. Then we got to do all the fun stuff, putting everything together. You see my backwards fans, those got swapped out. It's pretty ugly, but this was first power up. I did it. I got the screen. The screen. First power on. First try. I was so pumped to see that screen. So it did power on right away, our first try. So we came up with this error when we were trying to install Windows. Basically, it just wasn't recognizing, or for some reason on this screen, wasn't showing my hard drive. It was showing the hard drive in the BIOS. Everything looked perfect. It was showing all the proper information. But when we got to this screen, it just acted like we had nowhere that we could install Windows to. So kind of spent a lot of time, a couple hours probably, trying to figure out why this error was happening. And I'm still not 100% sure what fixed it, because we did a couple of things together. I think we were initially trying to install Windows 11. And I had gone back into the BIOS because we did make some like minor adjustments, nothing major in the BIOS. So I went back and kind of messed around and changed some stuff back, but changed some stuff back again and kind of left it. But then we also changed to, instead of trying to install Windows 11, changed to Windows 10. So I'm not 100% sure which of those changes fixed it, but alas, we did get fixed the same night, which was cool. So yeah, this was my hooray screen when I got past that other screen. So beautiful. I love it so much. So that's my final setup. The AIO tubes I wrapped with it's like a fabric. It's almost like it's like a fabric medical wrap, so it's not sticky. It only sticks to itself. And I think I had gotten that from somebody else, someone's video that I watched as an idea. So I did that to add some more purple in my build. Close-ups, overall built. Then I just kind of showed some of my other stuff. So my peripherals, if you will. My mouse is just fucking cheap mouse. Nothing to it. But yeah, I'm kind of showing some of my decors. My Death Note peeps up top there. And some pop figures. A lot of those figures, or I think pretty much all of them, came from AliExpress. It was or AliExpress or Temu. I'll have to check. But I was very pleasantly surprised with the quality. Actually, they're really good. Also, very happy with my cable management under the desk there. If you notice that, I got my footstool because I'm short. And I got myself some cable clips over on the side just to hold my chargers, my watch charger and phone charger. Station controller my fiance got me for Christmas because our other one was drifting. Had a lot of drift on the sticks, which I did try a lot of the tricks to fix, but it didn't work. So and then just kind of showing some of my peripherals. My keyboard I love. I'm old. I wanted something ergonomic but also cool. So I've got the Alice 98 Fecker mechanical keyboard. See, there's a box right there. It was way overpriced. Man, all of them seem way overpriced for what they are. But anyway, again, it's the pretty tax. My mouse is just a piece of shit mouse. My speakers need an upgrade still. That's one of the things still on my to upgrade list is speakers. And that's pretty much about it. But anyway, I think that's about it. Oh, I took a close up of my keyboard because she's pretty. The only thing that I wish is that the accent keycaps, they're like a blue. I wish they were purple, but I know that if I swap them out, they're not going to match properly with the rest of the keyboard, with the rest of the keycaps and stuff. So, yeah, I might try to at some point. That's the only thing that bothers me about it. And there was one, I think they did have one that was purple or had purple in it, but it was just never in stock. It was always sold out and I gave up. My custom Xbox controller that I made myself with my Scotia Bunny on it. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's my first PC build I'm very proud of. And my new setup, which I feel like is kind of respectable. I did actually enter into TechSource I think it was for the month of March. Their setup of the month contest was all girls setups. I did enter and I actually was in the top 10. I screenshotted it just so that I could be reminded that I was in the running with the big leagues. Made me happy. Anyway, I went back on my laptop to take a look at the specs that I went from. So my gaming laptop was an Intel i5 10300H, and then we went to an AMD Ryzen 5 7600X. RAM, I'm not sure what my RAM latency was, but we went from 8 gigabytes 2500 megahertz to 32 gigabyte RAM, 6000 megahertz. And for drives, we went from 500 gigabyte SSD SATA to DDR5 1 terabyte PCIe 5 NVMe SSD. Graphics, we went from a laptop NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 Ti. 1650. GTX 1650 Ti. To AMD Radeon RX 7700 XT 12 gigabyte. Bruh. Yeah, we had a bit of an upgrade. So, but the funny thing is I haven't really even, pushed it to its limits yet. I have played, there are a couple of games that I downloaded just to kind of see how I could push it. And maybe I'll do a couple tests and add on to the end of this. Who knows? We'll see how I'm feeling. So total cost of her ended up at $2249.09 Canadian. There were a couple little things that I didn't count into the cost of that. Like I didn't count my cable extensions. I didn't count that wrap that I have on the AIO tube. So little things like that. But yeah, $22.50 Canadian. I'm pretty happy with that. I knew going in that I was going to spend a little bit more on aesthetics. I could have definitely made, I could have made the exact same PC or specs or whatever for a lot less, sure. But would it be pretty? Not as much. So, fuck you. No, just kidding. But yeah, I built for the aesthetics. So anyway, maybe we'll take a look and see what she can do. Maybe I'll run a couple games to see what kind of FPS we can get and stuff like that. But all right, guys. Anyway, thanks for coming by and watching the video. If you have any questions, comments, or anything, definitely drop them down below. If you haven't already, make sure to give us a like. Hit the notification button so you're notified for all my new upcoming videos. And if you haven't already, definitely subscribe. I appreciate the support and see you in the next one.